Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with another in our series of classic scores to classic films. And today we are dealing with The Red Pony, the John Steinbeck story, which was musicified by none other than Aaron Copland, who turned out to be the perfect person for this particular story, at least the movie version of it, because Steinbeck's original, well, it's Steinbeck, right? You know, did you read The Red Pony when you were in high school? If you went to an American high school, usually it came in a little book coupled with The Pearl and The Red Pony. They were like together, you know, and you had to read the two of them together. And The Red Pony is this rather grim story because it's Steinbeck, of course. It's got to be dismal, right? About a kid who gets a pony, and this poor pony, he loves the pony, and the pony suffers like, it gets sick, it runs away, it gets eaten by vultures, it dies. And so to make him feel better, the ranch hand decides to give the kid, his name is Jody, by the way, a new pony, but he has to kill the mare to have a cesarean section to get the other pony out. It's just disgusting. It's horrible. Of course, when it was made into a Hollywood movie, it was cleaned up considerably. You know, there's much less gore and misery. It's touching. It's sad, of course, but it's about growing up and coming of age in the West and all that stuff. It's made into something a lot more wholesome. Originally, now, Copland made a suite from the film. We don't have the complete soundtrack in a modern recording anyway. We do have the suite that Copland fashioned from it, which is marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. So that's what we're talking about. And Copland really was a wonderful, wonderful film music composer. I don't know if you had that Telearch disc, Celluloid Copland, that has a bunch of his film scores. There needs to be a much more systematic approach to his work for the cinema. His greatest score probably was Something Wild, which he turned into the Music for a Great City, another concert work, where he uses most of the music in various forms. But we also need a clean, decent recording of the complete film score, which would be lovely there. But in any case, we have The Red Pony. It is the acme of Copland in his Americana style. It really is. He wanted to arrange it and call it a suite for children and have Steinbeck narrate the thing. Oh my God, what a horrible idea. Terrible on all counts. First of all, the music it's accessible, of course, but it's not kiddie music by any stretch of the imagination. Steinbeck, of course, wanted nothing to do with music associated with children. Thank God, because could you imagine his narration? How it would have wrecked the whole thing. It would have been just awful. I mean, narration is usually awful anyway. It just messes up the music. And Copland, who was probably, in his Lincoln portrait mode, thought it might be nice, but I don't think it's nice. So he didn't. He just made an orchestral suite, and thank God for that. Now, I have here, let's see, the Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra, Buffalo being a singularly appropriate term for something that takes place out west, right? You got Buffalo, although this Buffalo is in New York. The Buffalo Philharmonic under Joanne Folletta on Naxos. It's a wonderful performance. This is such fabulous film music. It really is. I have three little samples to play for you, and I know you're just going to want to get the whole suite if you don't already have it, of course. First, there is Morning on the Ranch, and I'm going to pick it up about halfway through when the big tune comes in, leading to the introductory motive, which is this fabulous open prairie, fanfare for the common man kind of thing. The kind of stuff that Copland did better than anybody else. And here it is. Now, in the course of the film, we get the circus. The circus comes to town. Of course, the circus comes to town. Of course, in the novella by Steinbeck, the fact that the circus comes to town is completely irrelevant. All we're dealing with is this poor pony having a tracheotomy and all the other terrible things happening to the pony. But in the movie, you get to make something of the circus so that you have something to lift our spirits and cheer us up. And certainly the music is such as to lift our spirits. It's Copland at his most gawky, parodistic, tongue-in-cheek. It's really delicious. Here's a little bit of the circus music. The central section, which I don't play here, goes completely nuts, really making fun of the barrel organ music in Stravinsky's Petrushka, which Copland knew very well. But here's the opening of the circus music. And then, last but not least, there is my favorite number in the whole piece, the walk to the bunkhouse. You know, why a movie has to make a deal out of a walk to the bunkhouse, I don't really know. But again, the music is just marvelous. It is, to me, the absolute apotheosis of that sort of lyrical Americanism, you know, music of the Old West. I don't know. It's fascinating. And what just amazes me about Copland is that he was, of course, you know, a Jewish kid from Brooklyn, and he became the avatar of this style of American music, which just goes to show what a compositional genius he was. Because if there was anybody who had not been out west, it was this urbanized kid who studied with Nadia Boulanger in Paris. But he managed to do it anyway through the sheer force of his imagination. And here is the walk to the bunkhouse. Oh, is that marvelous? Isn't that fabulous? Once again, this is the Buffalo Philharmonic under Joanne Falletta on Naxos, and that, my friends, is The Red Pony, a spectacular suite from, I don't know if the film is spectacular, I don't care. It's just one of those things where I'm so glad we can listen to the music and not have to watch the movie. And it's just wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful music, vintage Copland, and it belongs in every serious collection of both film music and classical music, American music, modern music, orchestral music, you name it. Keep on listening, folks. Thanks for joining me. Take care.